Hello and welcome back to OC Decoded. I'm Erin Brown, licensed marriage and family therapist and mental health counselor. I have OCD myself, and my goal with this is to help you recognize your OCD and turn it into a superpower. And the way I'm doing that is first by recording these without editing them. I'm just facing my fear of not being perfect, my perfectionism OCD, by being like, let's just put this out there. Let's not overthink it. That just slows the process down. Let's just see what happens. Let's record this and see what happens. So, today we're going to be talking about seeking assurance as a compulsion and how tricky that one is. And so, as a quick recap, obsessions are about a fear that we obsess about a fear. And then the compulsion is anything we do to decrease the distress of the unknown. And so, a compulsion can be so many different things, but it was really world changing for me to realize that one of my main compulsions was seeking assurance. And it's one of those things that makes OCD so hard because most of the things are like stuff everybody does to some extent, but OCD just can't stop or takes it that much further or can't start, that OCD has a hard time starting and stopping things. And so with seeking assurance, it's like, of course, we all want assurance. And of course, it's fine to ask for assurance or to, want assurance that, the typical ones are that I'm okay or that it's going to be okay. I want assurance for those two things. And so again, like seeking assurance is fine once or twice, three times. But when we like what I try to notice is when I'm seeking assurance, but I never feel assured. And that's just such a big part of OCD is never feeling satisfied, never feeling like you're doing enough, that the connection is enough, that the world is enough, that I'm enough. Um, that just so many different parts of it that like wanting assurance that I'm enough and or just wanting that assurance, but no matter how much I seek it from the world, from my partner, even from myself, that I never feel assured. And it's one of the trickiest ones for me to develop exposures to, which not traditional exposure therapy, which is like throw you in the deep end kind of thing and see if you swim, but like how to break it down into smaller steps to practice confronting this fear more directly, but not just throwing ourselves in the deep end and doing it. So some of how that looks is by like, can I sit in that discomfort for even just a minute without seeking assurance? And can I just notice and watch what's happening within my body? Can I notice and watch what's happening within my mind? Um, and not do anything, not even give myself assurance. And that's what's so hard. It's like it's even a compulsion to be like, it's okay, Erin, you're doing great. Like, no, I can't say that. So what am I supposed to do? Is the thoughts that are going through my head. But it's like just sit, set a timer, 30 seconds, sit in that discomfort of not being assured for just 30 seconds, and then you can seek assurance or whatever you need to do afterwards. But what that does is that really helps to build your confidence that you can do it. What OCD does is it just really stops us at the fear. It says we can't get past this fear. This fear is here. We have to stop and sit here now and do nothing, pretty much, or do all the things, but actually confront the fear. And so we're just trying to sit with that fear for just however long you can. Maybe it is 10 seconds at first, and that's enough, but that our goal is to sit in it for longer and longer. And kind of the 10-minute rule for OCD, which is like try something else for 10 minutes. And if you still want to do the thing, go do it. But the goal is to sit in that discomfort for just a little while to realize the discomfort isn't as bad as our OCD makes it sound like, and that we can handle it, that we are already okay, even if we don't get assurance that we're okay. And so it's just really, how do I practice that? And it just really, it boggles my mind sometimes how much seeking assurance pops up and how to start to notice it and be curious about it. That my goal is not to just judge myself about the compulsions that I do, because judging myself about compulsions just makes me do more compulsions. If I need reassurance I'm okay, and then I'm like, okay, well, I can't get reassurance I'm okay now, and I'm bad for wanting assurance, then I do things that need more assurance. And so that whole point is, can we just pause? Can I just observe all the different thoughts and feelings that are racing through? Can I observe how urgent OCD makes it feel that if I don't do something right now, something bad's going to happen? Which for seeking assurance is like, if I don't get assurance right now, then that means I am a bad person, is what it sounds like in my head, at least. Um, that if I don't get assurance right now, it means all is lost is another wording that comes up for me, that like that's what so much I have to deal with my own OCD, is that feeling of all is lost. And if all is lost, then what, I'm just going to lay here and this is where I live now. And I talk about that sometimes in sessions, about like that acceptance isn't sinking to the bottom of the river saying I live here now, but it's learning how to float on the waves. And that I think is just so powerful about with the seeking insurance piece too, is how do I just accept, like, I don't, like if I'm floating on the waves that are my thoughts and feelings or events, that like I might judge a wave as good or bad, but doesn't mean that it is. If I worry about a wave coming, it doesn't prevent the wave from coming. And if I worry that I'm not enough, it doesn't change the wave I'm on. And it just, all of those visuals and all of those kind of ways that I can come back to the present moment, that it's different than seeking assurance, that it's more about how do I come back to the present moment. And so I just really do have to be careful with that, like how I realize how I'm so often being like, am I okay? Is it going to be okay? And that when I feel really insecure is when I seek assurance even more. And that's when I need to be practicing giving it to myself. And that is the very hardest time, the most hardest, whatever is grammatically correct to say. But either way, it's just that it's incredibly hard to give ourselves assurance when that's all we need, or to not give ourselves assurance when that's all we need. Like, and that's what we're kind of recognizing with OCD, is that it gets to be, I'm annoyed with myself. I'm annoyed for needing assurance. I'm annoyed for giving assurance. I'm annoyed for feeling like I'm going through the same thing again and again. I'm annoyed for always feeling insecure. And that to the point where I'm just like, fine, I'll try something else. That like, I've been trying this way of beating myself up and it has not worked. Can we just all agree on that? And then find these other ways to to answer that question for myself. And one of those ways that really got through me for me was like, again, just all of this navel gazing, as they say, of like me just obsessing about myself essentially. And if I'm a good person or not, just still always takes more away from me being in the present and me doing a good thing for somebody. And then, I mean, OCD just gets so caught up in all that too. Like, what's a good thing? What's the next right thing? What do I do? And it's like, and I fought it for so long. And it's just so interesting to me how it always comes back to just be in the present. Like I can't plan out how I'm going to feel. I can't plan out what's going to happen or what I'm going to think about what's going to happen. I have to continue to come back to my presence, my core, my right now, and come back to presence, and then check in with myself and see what I want to do next. And that also means mistakes. I mean, sometimes I'm going to check in with myself, I'm going to do something and it's not going to be the right thing or the thing I should have done. And that has to be okay too. That I tried something, I thought that was the right thing, but now I know it's not what I need to do. So now I adjust, instead of just this obsession over the decisions we make and then needing assurance about the decisions we make. And again, just how tricky that is with trying to figure out like, okay, how do I give myself assurance without it being a compulsion? And part of the answer to that is to notice when I'm doing assurance, to try to stop and to pause and do anything else but give myself assurance for at least 1 minute. But then like, and during that time, I'm trying to realize like, even when I don't give myself assurance, I'm okay. And that's one of the things you learn from doing those exposures or by confronting your fears in this way, is like, okay, OCD, like you really had me going. You really had me going. But that like, I'm already okay. And like it's okay to need assurance and it's okay to not get it. Um, is one thing that I kind of remind myself in that way. And I still sometimes wonder, I'm like, well, is that just giving myself assurance? Maybe it's still part of the compulsion, but that's just the cycle that we want to do. And the goal is to be curious. How do I keep being curious about myself and these things and not be so judging and condemning in this way of all is lost? Or it's like, I might as well just lie here now, but just like, okay, lie there for a minute and let yourself do that. But then you get up and you do the next thing. You check in with yourself and try the next thing. And then if that doesn't go well, you check in with yourself and try something else. And it just really does amaze me how when I really just simplify everything else and keep coming back to that my life goes so much more smoothly and I feel so much better about it. So I hope that for you too. Let me know about your adventures with seeking assurance and the ways that you seek assurance, or if you're not sure of what it is or not, and some of the ways that you found around it. I would love to hear. Hope you have a good one. Talk to you next time.